Hi, I'm Michelle. Welcome back to Finally Revealed. In this episode, I want to talk about how to avoid answering a question that you don't want to answer. Situations come upon us, or we are caught off guard or in an uncomfortable situation, and we don't need to have that happen. And I think that it's best if you can, or helpful, if you can prepare a little bit. And so I hope some of these strategies will help you prepare so that the next time that you're faced with an uncomfortable situation where someone is asking you for information that for whatever reason you don't want to give it to them, this will help you navigate around that and keep the conversation going or end it, as the case may be. Now, there's a variety of reasons that people might ask you a question that you don't want to answer. They may not realize that it's private. They may not realize that you're not allowed to answer the question, or they may not anticipate that the answer to the question may not be something that they want to hear or that they're going to like or is appropriate for the situation. So regardless of the reason, unless you're under oath somewhere and you're sworn to tell the truth and you're compelled to answer the question, it's up to you whether or not you want to answer. So think about some of these strategies, and maybe one of them will, resonate with you and you'll be able to use it in your everyday conversation. Avoid hurt feelings, avoid spilling the beans or gossiping when you don't want to, or giving away secrets. All right, the first one is, this is inspired by every politician who ever was interviewed and never said a thing in response to the question. And that is a tactic that they use, which is to talk around the question. They will be talking, the person has asked them a question, but the talking after the question is asked has nothing to do with the question. So you just keep talking about what you were talking before, use part of the question and extrapolate, go off on a tangent. You're talking and they're listening, but the answer does not match the question. Maybe they'll catch on, or maybe they'll be like a lot of the interviewers on TV and they'll just ask their next question and not even think about it. That might work. If you are on the telephone or texting, you can just skip over it. Pretend you didn't hear it. Keep talking about what you're in person. You may get up and excuse yourself, or if it's a casual encounter, you can just excuse yourself and say, "It was great to talk to you. I've got to go and catch Joe now. I see that he's right over there." Another thing you might do is change the subject. If you're in a restaurant, you look over and you say, "Hey, is that John over there? It looks like John. Isn't that him?" Or a woman might say, "Look at the shoes. Look at her shoes. Aren't those great?" Some other random comment to distract the person who's asking you the question and divert their attention. And then maybe when they come back to the conversation, they will have moved on. The other thing you can do is ask a question back to them. Say, "Well, that's an interesting question." Or you can say, what makes you ask me something like that? Or what makes you, wonder about that? Or something similar. That puts it back on the person asking the question. And if they were trying to pry in an area and they thought they would slide it in, they hopefully will catch a hint and back off. If it was an innocent question, or a question that they have approached you to get this answer, that's their goal, they may try again. So you might have to implement another strategy. And one of the other strategies might be to be funny and just say, "Well, I'd tell you, but I'd have to kill you." Or, "That's the $1 million question everybody's been asking me." And sometimes that is a great answer because it is something that people were asking you. For example, if you're pregnant, do you know what it is? Is it a boy or a girl? Or do you know if anybody else is going to be downsized in our company? And this is a person whose job is to do that, is to hand out the recommendations to HR on who's going to be downsized. Or, how much money do you make? Or how much bonus did you get last year? How much did that car cost? There's all kinds of questions that people are asked on an everyday basis. And sometimes the people asking it are nosy, or or interested in the information or have some competitive advantage. How much did your company bid on the Johnson job? If there's a competitive advantage or other industry information, it's none of their business, and you could get in trouble with your company if you gave out that information. And this person asking you the question, it may be a friend of yours, but they are also a competitor. So you need to be able to navigate around these conversations and maintain the conversation or end it, but not give away information because you feel pressured to, or because you don't know what to say. Then people say honesty is the best policy. If you're comfortable and you're secure in your situation, you can say, I'm not comfortable answering that question, or that's confidential, or I'm not in the mood to talk about that, or I really appreciate your interest, but it's not a good time for me to talk about this. And hopefully in each way that you respond to this question, you will communicate to the person without offending them or putting them in a bad position that you're not going to answer the question, and be firm about it. If they persist, you can try one of the others, or just say, I've really got to go. It was great talking with you. We'll have to catch up again soon. I hope some of those will help you. And if you have had any funny stories, I'd love to hear them. If you're interested in more videos, check out the playlist or subscribe. I'll see you next time.